Hi again. My name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller, and today I'm going to be doing my what sold video for this past week, Monday through Thursday, which was February 26th through the 29th. And y'all, February I think ended up being one of my best months in a really long time. The sales just continued to come for me. I'm very, very grateful for, the time that I've spent listing and listing and listing has definitely started paying off. And, I'm ready for yard sale season to start again. I mean, my room's not ready, but I'm getting there. I just had to go look. This year, since January 1st, I've listed over 1,800 new items in my store. So, I mean, that's just barely over 2 months. And, I'm reaping the benefits of that. I am definitely a person who, you need to do what you can to work the reselling system. List, you need to run sales, you need to send offers, you need to accept offers, even if they're just a tad bit less than you expected. I think it just kind of feeds that algorithm. And end and sell similar. All of those things I have been doing consistently for a while now, and I'm seeing lots and lots of sales. Y'all, I have 11,000 listings. Somebody made a comment. I'm just going to say it. Somebody made a comment that having 11,000 items stored in your store is not a positive thing. But y'all, I went back and looked. I sold, I think, almost 6,000 items last year. So I've sold half my inventory. So, I list a lot, but I sell a lot. And, not everybody can do what we do. We have a building that we built. It's not a storage unit. Somebody made that comment too. I don't have my stuff in a storage unit. I don't have costs other than the electric for that building, but it's just on the other side of my driveway, 50 feet maybe. But when we bought this house 12 years ago, we built this 30 by 50 building. Was it intended for eBay? No. Poor Robert has lost his workshop, our extra storage. All of that has just been kind of crammed to the edges of that second room. And, we decided to really ramp up this business, to meet some financial goals. I paid off my house last year in 12 years. We're working on paying off a truck, and then just, retirement. Lots and lots of retirement money set aside. So, I'm serious about my business. I work it like a full-time job, if not more. I think somebody made a comment the other day. I saw it on Facebook. When you work for somebody else, you work 9 to 5. When you work for yourself, you work 5 to 9. I'm not quite that bad, but there's many days I do 10 and 12 hours. But I love what I do. I love what I do. Promise, I'm going to get that video out this week that shows how I go about doing my listings, from the processing to the pictures to the actually sitting down and listing stuff. It's been busy here. It's been crazy busy. So I'm going to get that done. It should be out this next week. And then this video is going to be out Friday, which will already be at the Peaches to the Beaches. So I'll be hopefully having tons and tons of fun and lots of sourcing videos I do the hauls on this channel, but I'm starting to do the picking videos on the Rebel Picker. So, if you haven't gone over there and watched any of those videos, please do. Always for both channels, give my videos a thumbs up, leave me a comment. It just helps in the algorithm. All right, let's get to this. Nothing on mercari still. Nothing. But I've not been cross-listing. My own fault. Just kind of ignored it. I'll get to it. I'm going to get to it. But on Poshmark, I have 5 sales to share with you. Y'all, Disney Cars Pillow Plush. This has been listed forever, and I got a $10 offer on it. I'm good with making $7.05 on a plush that was very large, taking up lots of space, and I made it gone. Prana women's sleeveless dress sold for $25. How to Train Your Dragon toothless sold for $27. Avon Sherry Lewis lamb chop puppet sold for $14. And last is, again, listed forever, make it gone, Tupperware red lunchroom tray sold for $10. Now on eBay, if you're new to my channel, I don't do free shipping. So when I say something sold for $8.87 like this item, the buyer did pay additional for shipping. And as you can tell, I have lots of sales to share with you. A lot of it was bread and butter. Bread and butter pays the bills, right? I keep saying I'm going to have Robert calculate up how much I made last year on listings that were $12 or less. But we just keep forgetting. But this is a Folk Manus Bumblebee hand puppet sold for $8.87. Knickerbocker. It's a vintage plush I love finding. Don't find a whole lot of them. But this gray and white cat sold for $13.74. Black Dog plush animated sold for $22.91. And y'all, right after this sold, I got a message from another person asking if I would please cancel this. Don't do that. Don't ever do that. But I guess they were desperately looking for it. Funny thing is it's been listed since May. And then all of a sudden, as soon as it sells, I've got a desperate person sending me a message saying they need it. But nope, sent it off to the person who purchased it. Little Tykes dollhouse furniture. Y'all, always in your first picture on any of these Little Tykes dollhouse items, put a tape measure, because they also made these exact toys in a child size version. And you wouldn't believe how many times, even with the tape measure, I have somebody wanting to return because they thought they were buying the child size at only paying $5, $6, $7 shipping. So that's why the tape measure is sitting right there, and the read description, and in my condition notes I have, this is not child size, this goes to a dollhouse. They've sold $15.69. Blankets and Beyond, not a brand I pick up very often anymore. And this one has been listed over a year, and it sold for $13.45. Toys R Us Dollhouse Man figure sold for $8.05. This one was new to me. You know, I'll tend to pick up most dollhouse items, especially when I think they're Fisher Price or Little Tykes or Play School. But this one was Toys R Us. All these was in my profit piles. I found a Walmart bag from a yard sale at some point with pantyhose in it. There were a few that were opened. I just went ahead and discarded them. But I ended up having like 3 of these and 3 of another no nonsense. These sold instantly. These were age-defying pantyhose, $14.95. Dandy animated plush. I have a video on here showing that the toy works, and it sold same month listed for $21. Wish Pets Penny Admiral Penguin plush purple. Of course I would have picked it up. Sold for $15. UNC Tar Heels tablecloth. I think this was a Ben's pickup in Asheville at some point along the way. It has been listed for over a year, and it sold for $27.85. Trolls, I pick them up. For the most part, they aren't worth a whole lot. You do better if you can put them in small lots. And this leprechaun and rainbow-haired one sold for $13.45. Old Navy Rockstar jeans. We've got tons of clothing right now that we started picking up when we first started doing clothes that we never got to. So we are processing them. I do have somebody that is taking pictures for me of the clothing, and we're just trying to get through them. Lots and lots of bags before the yard sale season starts. These sold very quickly for $10. Adventure Time. This is from my Profit Pile stuff. I remember buying a large bag of these, and these must have been like duplicates, and I set them aside, never got to them, and I just decided to put the 4 of them together. They sold within a day, I think, for $21.33. This plush did not have, it had a faded tag, so no manufacturer, but it was just a cute bear plush. A lot of times when I don't have a manufacturer, it takes a little while to sell. You got to find that one person who uses all the keywords to find this item, and it still sold for $20. Profit Pile stuff, McDonald's, toys, listed tons of fast foods toys. I went and grabbed 2 of the boxes of smalls from the high bid estate sale, which was lots of restaurant and other advertising plush, and I started just making small lots, just going through them, and I put these 3 together, and they sold very quickly for $12. This is one of the times that I took the time to separate out Lego Duplos, because I realized I had several high dollar lots, even though I didn't have the boxes and I didn't have complete sets. I used the internet. You know, you Google Lens, like the ice cream top, it ended up giving me the Duplo number. Then I could look that up and find out what exactly needs to be in those listings. And I just sorted and sorted and sorted. I ended up with 3 or 4, maybe 5 out of a large tote that I picked up at a thrift store somewhere. I can't remember where. But this set, which is incomplete, still sold for $40.45. Myrtle Beach Pelicans, Major League Baseball. I threw a price on there. There weren't any others like it listed at the time that I listed it. Got a $15 offer. It's been listed since August. Make it gone. I tend to put the Serta sheep in lots, but this one was a duplicate, so it was going to be like the start of a lot, and it sold for $8.96. Santa's Best. Again, I think this is one of those times where it was going to be over £1, and my shipping is way more reasonable now that I'm giving my discount to my buyers, and it sold for $9.33. But it was an animated Santa's Best Easter plush. 2 peas in a pod. I'm pretty sure I picked this up at an estate sale. Vintage plush, and sold for $26.95. I had a whole tote of Disney Princess stuff that I divvied out into lots. This was an Aladdin and Jasmine figure, sold for $8.96. In my brain, I keep thinking all of these smalls that I have been working on. You know, if I got $9 for every little one, it would be thousands of dollars. It would. I have tons, and I still have tons to get to. Into the AM Astronaut t-shirt, sold for $13.21 in less than a month. Russ Bear plush. This one I had on the tag exclusive of Hess's. I found a couple of things that are Hess's. I don't remember that store. I grew up in Europe, so I didn't see a lot of these stores that probably are no longer in existence. This one sold for $10.75. It has been listed for a while. This was one of those things sold instantly. It was from my high bid estate sale stuff that I just brought over here and started sorting through. This is a Long John Silver's Big Sipper cup, and it sold for $13.45. Christmas ornament. This in my code up there says that this was one of the items I bought while we were on our trip up to Connecticut and New York when Robert and RJ did their black belt tests. And somewhere along the way, I picked this ornament up, and it sold for $11.43. I just listed this book, and I got a message from the buyer stating that could I ship very quickly because it's going to a TV set, a movie set. Don't know anything about it, but I love getting those kinds of messages. I've got some of them because, you know, I sell a lot of older stuff. But this is a book called Flowering Trees of the World, 1962, and it sold for $22.45. American Eagle women's jeans, $17.71. Y'all, I can find these all over the place at yard sales. Land Before Time Ducky hand puppet. There was a series of these from Pizza Hut. Funny thing is, I just inventoried this. So, you know, I touched it and it sold. Hydraulic women's jean shorts, cargo style, sold for $16.05. G women's top, still selling clothes very, very quickly. This sold for $15.50. Profit pile. You guys are going to get sick of me saying that, but I had quite a few of Teletubbies off in a tote. Some of them were McDonald's, some of them were Burger King. These 4 McDonald's sold for $15. Revere wear, probably not something I'm going to pick up. They take a while to sell. This one's been listed for over a year. A 9-inch frying pan sold for $15.95. Lionel Heritage Series Santa Fe wooden train car. This was in a box of train stuff that I made myself process, and I didn't even realize this one was Lionel. For some reason, I remember picking this up, though, at the Goodwill bins when I met Harry Tornado down in South Carolina. For some reason, I remember that. $12. Gans Webkins Love Spaniel Dog Plush sold for $12.10. This one was funny. It was a plush monkey with like a flexible rubber mohawk on the top. Took a long time to sell. Sold for $10.95. Y'all, I just showed you this percolator that I picked up at an estate sale. I paid $10 for it. I've already sold, I think, 3 pieces from it. This one, this is the glass basket. It sold for $15.75. There's another one that I'm going to show you in a second, and then I sold the stem for way more than I thought. It was what I've sold it for previously. Way more. Target Brown Rabbit Plush sold for $11.66. Levi's Women's Signature Jeans. Funny, we opened up a bag of stuff that we have, clothes that we had sourced probably at the bins, but maybe at yard sales. We got a huge stack of garbage bags over in the building that we've been bringing over here as we get them processed. And there was like 10 pairs of these women's jeans with their original tags on them. This one sold for $15. IKEA, again, this is the hair plush. I pick it up anytime I see it. This one sold for $20.66. Orange Espresso coffee cup. Pretty sure I picked this up at my favorite little estate sale company. When I say that, it's a local company for our town, and we always try to go and support them. They are very nice people, and they're my favorite. They're my favorite to go to. Probably paid $1 or $2 for it, and it sold for $13. IKEA again. Pink Flamingo sold for $8.96, but sold the same month I listed it. These have been listed for over 6 months, so I got a $17 offer on these Sperry Topsider women's shoes, and I accepted it. Now, these Allen Edmond wooden shoe trees were inside a pair of Allen Edmonds that Robert picked up at an estate sale. For some reason, the shoe trees got set aside. They were in a shelf that I cleared, and they sold, I think the same day I listed them, for $18.09. Carter's Child of Mine Koala Lovey. Y'all, I often say the koalas, the unicorns, and all of those don't sell very well for me. This one sold the same day I listed it for $8. Not big bucks, but, you know, I probably have less than 50 cents in it, and it sold quickly. All right, I picked this up. I picked up 25 sets of this at the 100 Mile Yard Sale 2 years ago. I've been trying to sell them individually. At some point, I may go ahead and maybe do a lot of 2 because they're taking forever. But I've sold 5 sets of them. I only paid $5 for all of it. All of it. And I sold 2 of the sets for $19.82. But I think I may redo this at some point and maybe make it a lot of 2. Here's the other part to that percolator, Pyrex percolator that I picked up. This was the basket top, and it sold instantly $14.95. So I've already made over 30 bucks for 2 parts of it, and I paid 10. This is 24K Polar Puff Mighty Star Sheepdog, sold for $16.16. I love that brand. Just love it. Nice quality, vintage. Picked this up at the bins. I think I had planned on maybe putting it with a plush that I have that is a balloon dog, but decided it was unique and different, and it sold same month I listed it for $21.33. Spark, Create, Imagine. I do really well with these flat dogs. And this one is the St. Bernard, and it sold for $17.05. Classic Poo Pillow. I think I just got this, showed this in a recent haul, so it was from the bins, sold for $14. Radica Big Screen Poker Game. Again, it was in a tote, and I just listed it this month, and it sold for $8.96. Aurora Mermaid Bride Plush. Listed it last month, and it sold for $11.65. Trendmaster Jack-o'-lantern Pumpkin Decoration. This has been listed quite a while. Again, I truly believe that changing my shipping has allowed this to sell finally. It sold for $18.68. This buyer sent me a message asking if there was any way I could ship this first class. Again, I'm not going to put a stamp on something. You know, I want to have the tracking. I know it would be just a single ding for not having tracking. I like seeing my 100%. And she understood when I explained to her that I needed to have tracking, so it needed to be shipped as a package, and she still bought it. It was this Simplicity Applique Cats. I think I found this at a churchyard sale. I want to say I paid like $1/4 for all of them, and they sold for $9. Hilco Dog Figure, just a little thing you put batteries in and it walks, and it sold for $17.95. Gaffa, not a brand I pick up very often, sold for $9.86. BioGuard Advertising Plush. This was a penguin in a swim ring, sold for $7.89. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Cup. Took a while. Sold for $9.50. Selling lots of mugs though. Like I said, this is all bread and butter. Nothing extravagant to share with you. Just lots of sales. This is the dog. They are by Artist Collection. Anytime I find them, I pick them up. They tend to sell very quickly for me. I listed this one in November and it sold for $11.66. And then Tales of Despero. Mouse plush by Nanco. Not a favorite brand, but they do lots of character plush. And this one sold for $8.96. All right, hope you enjoyed this. I will be on vacation when you're watching this, and fingers crossed we'll get lots of good footage to share with you, and lots of good products to sell in a haul video on here. So get to work. Bye.